This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Friday, March 26, 2021, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, two-time Grammy Award winner, Derek Minor. I don't know why you did that. And, okay, sitting in for today, our regular Jamie Ivey is out. She's on assignment. I have no idea why she's not on today, but she's not on today. And sitting in from California, author, podcaster, counselor, friend to all, Kristen Howerton. Welcome back.
Hey guys. Derek, am I supposed to sing? Is that what, are we doing a musical intro?
Yeah, that would have been cool, like Family Guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I missed it. I missed my moment.
Wait, hold on. So you guys are telling me that I've been preparing nonstop for over a week for an all-musical episode, including new original compositions, and that was a joke? Okay.
All right, you want some music? Hit it, Clark. All right, you know what that is, everybody. That is the Oral Roberts University Golden Eagles fight song. Our very own Cinderella story. Jesse and my alma mater in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1974. I don't know what to do with myself. This is the only episode where we'll be able to say that we have a school in the Sweet 16. And so I'm soaking it in, just FYI.
Well, and last week on the show, it was revealed. And I didn't know. I to be honest, it was just a really busy week, so I didn't get a chance to listen before they went out. And I know we talked about it on air because I had privately texted Cameron that before the tournament started, okay, before March Madness started, I took out, and I'll say, look, I have no qualm.
Yeah.
Like,
no qualms.
I have no
totally
qualms
legal.
about, sports betting is legal in my state. I downloaded the app, gave me free money, and I made a little, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to just pull out a crazy, this is before, and I have the time signature on my bet slip.
It's true.
This is before the bracket. This is before Selection Sunday. It was like 2 days before, after, and I took out I'm not gonna reveal the amount. I don't want to be
It's a small amount of
gauche.
money, and it was money that you were already given. So this isn't even carry money. This is
exactly
this is free money.
And I put a portion of that small amount into a bet that was giving me very, very, very long odds that ORU would make the Final Four. Well, guess who's knocking on the door, everyone? Like a couple of my buddies were texting me because I was like texting around
Jesse
my bet
will win
slip.
thousands of dollars if ORU makes the Final Four, and they're 2 wins away.
And I was texting some buddies, and they're like, "Hey, that needs to be like a scholarship or something. You should," because I was like, "Dude, I was like, I told her, I was like,
No, it doesn't.
I was like, dude, I'm about to go viral on sports blogs right now because I'm going to tweet out this bet slip and say I knew it all along." And my buddy was like, "If you do that and you win, you're going to have to give that to the school or to a scholarship."
No.
I'm like, "What is it going to be? The degenerate alumni fund?"
Dude.
Like, who wants my ill-gotten? I don't think my Christian school wants my gambling winnings that I won on their basketball team. Like, I don't even know if the NCAA would allow me to donate that. I don't know if that would be a violation.
Jesse, it was going around on Twitter. You aren't the only one who placed this long shot bet. Somebody put like couple $100 or so. I forget what it was, but if ORU makes the Final Four, this person will win $250,000.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Not alone. Hey, expect a miracle. That's what I've been doing.
So I keep tweeting the expect a miracle, and people think I'm just saying expect a miracle. Expect a miracle is ORU's like saying they have it on their basketball court to expect a miracle. So this is the most miracle expectation NCAA tournament that I've ever experienced.
Kristen, have you been watching? Are you a tournament fan?
I really feel like you're speaking in Spanish. I don't really understand any of it, but I feel like if you're a basketball team and your slogan is expect a miracle, that might say something.
Right.
It doesn't instill a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
It doesn't instill a lot of confidence.
No.
You know?
Listen, I'm going to say this. ORU has, I don't know what the makeup of the school is, but there's some black granny and aunties praying for this school every game.
Dude.
There has to be.
Hey.
Because I'm telling you, they get down to the wire and then all of a sudden something happens. I'm like, oh man.
Overtime, at the buzzer. I mean, they've been like 5 games in a row. This has happened. It's crazy. And it is the most racially diverse Christian school you'll ever come across. Like it's maybe 45% white. So just it's interesting. It's a really
I can tell because you know them African angels that that
she called
Pamela
him
White
down.
was trying. Paula White, she called him down for ORU. Them African angels is breaking ankles, buddy.
Man.
I'm telling you right now.
I got really nostalgic. You know, I was the whole watching the games on TV, and it like my phone was like blowing up. And it's a lot of people who I haven't talked to for a long time that I went to college with. We used to go to games together and everyone's all excited. And I started getting really nostalgic for ORU. And ORU is where I first got my start in podcasting. Technically, I had a show on KORU briefly. We were forced off the air after a prank went awry. But I found a picture. I found a picture of me and my co-host for our brief run there. And I was like, oh man, good old ORU.
What was the prank?
We were, so we didn't have an idea for a show. Like I knew the station director, right? And he was like, hey, do you want to come work at the station? And you get a little scholarship money. Okay. And I'm like, all right, and anything chip away at the student debt, I'll come work at the station. The station was in the basement of a academic building. And so I was like
a multi-level basement.
Yeah,
it's like in the
like a legit basement.
I'm gonna find this picture of it at the time the world's crappiest studio, and I'm gonna send you guys a picture. It looks like a studio that like in an apocalypse movie where the survivors of like a zombie holocaust like 50 years ago like found an abandoned studio, and that's what they're gonna try to like. Okay, humanity, come out here to Atlanta or whatever. So that's what the studio is like. But the reason we got kicked off, Derek, is because I was like, hey, man, I got a buddy of mine. I was like, hey, his name was John. I was like, John, hey, we should start a radio show. He's like, what's it about? I was like, I don't know, man. Let's just go and turn the mics on and start talking. Let's just goof. And so we started doing that, and we realized we had nothing to talk about. We really should have prepared. So we had an idea of telling people that we were going to start doing like celebrity interviews. And so we did an interview with this guy who in Tulsa is a pretty known figure. He goes by the name Biker Fox. And he's this dude who's got this crazy like skullet, right? So he's kind of like bald on top, but he goes this curly mullet.
That's called a skullet?
Yeah,
when the guy's bald on top, like Hulk Hogan had a skullet.
Skullet.
Okay.
Classic skullet.
I didn't know
Classic
that.
skullet, yeah. But he wears like biking outfits everywhere. And his thing is he rides in the middle of intersections of like big stoplights and does like lame mountain bike tricks right in the middle and then rides off waving to everybody. He's like a local celebrity. So he told people we were going to start doing celebrity interviews, and we had Biker Fox on, and for a full 2 hours, got his whole story. Pretty wild stuff. That alone with some shocking revelations that could have got us kicked off the air. Thankfully, no one in administration was listening. But when we got in trouble is when we said we have bigger celebrity interviews coming. And this is how long ago this was. In the studio was an old like white pages, like a phone book that had like, you could look up people's names and it would have phone, which is a crazy concept right now, by the way. Like we used to get books in the mail that had everybody's names and phone numbers and addresses in them. Anyway, so we were like, hey, let's tell people.
That's true.
So we just started. Yeah, it's crazy.
Bizarre.
But we would go in and we would just look up famous people's names to find out if there was like a Larry Bird who lived in Tulsa. And so we would call people. So we would call someone in Tulsa that we found in the phone book named Larry Bird. No. And we would start, as soon as they answered, we acted like the celebrity. We're like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, he's on Larry Bird. Larry, welcome to the show. And he's like, what? Who is this? Hey, listen.
Gosh.
So I want to ask you about something in the playoffs against the and he's like, who is this? And then we would just call the next person and we'd have all these celebrity interviews.
Oh my god!
The school decided that wasn't the best look in the community and pulled the plug.
That is amazing. Your school was some haters, cuz I hope they lose. I hope they lose.
I was editor of the school paper and got fired. So like we have that in common.
What did you do,
scandals?
Bro?
I was sports editor 1 year, and it was Bill Self, who is now the coach at Kansas, the famous basketball coach, was our basketball coach. And so I worked closely with Bill Self. It's like really cool. It's a good era. It's a fun era. And then the next year I was an editor of the whole paper. And so the advisor was an idiot. it was a terribly run paper. Everything was wrong. And so I just blew it up. I just disregarded everything he had built and just started over. And he just didn't like me at all. And we won like 12 college AP awards that year. We put together an amazing publication. And then at the end of the year, he was like, thank you. We won't be needing your services any longer. And he pushed me out.
Man.
But it was all right. Whatever. I didn't do anything tangibly.
I just sent you guys a link to a picture of the studio.
I just saw it, bro. You were very dude bro-ish.
I know. And it's actually, I was, it's regrettable looking back. And I my arm is in a cast in that picture, and I broke that arm in the most dude bro-ish way possible. Literally playing ultimate frisbee. And that's what the college experience is all about.
I was going through,
that's great.
I found a bunch of my old ORU stuff the other day, and like the foam finger, like Go Golden Eagles and stuff like that I just had in a box somewhere. And I found the brochure of when I ran for student body president, and there were 3 candidates, and I came in a distant third. I have that brochure. I also found a lot of the papers that we did, and I found one when I was a sports editor. And apparently, I wrote an article after our women's basketball team played Cameron University, and we crushed them. I wrote the headline, "ORU Women Roll Over Cameron." And I just was very, very proud of that headline, and I saved it, that the ORU women roll over Cameron. So.
When I worked at the school paper, it was under such heavy censorship that the biggest story
I think it was because of my year. After that, they just clamped down on everything.
And there was a very low level of trust in me allowed to any media. Do you know the biggest story I got to write when I was editor? And look, I've gone on to a career in this field.
Career, yes.
But I got restricted at the paper. The biggest story I ever had, and my mom. This is embarrassing. My mom kept it, like the student paper, and I found it in the attic. I'm like, isn't this sad? This is the only story I have that was really of note. It was because a Subway with a drive-through opened 3 blocks from campus, and they wanted me to go cover the opening. It was such a revolutionary idea. They're like, hey, listen, there's a Subway opening. I'm like, okay. They're like, hey, you're not going to believe it's got a drive-through. Have you ever heard of it? Drive-through Subway. I'm like, okay. They're like, we want you to go down there if that's your story.
Oh, my gosh.
That's my big scoop.
And your sweet mom saved it because she's so proud of her little Jessie getting published.
A Subway 3 blocks away from the campus with a drive-through. I had to go interview the manager. And I was like, all right, I guess we're talking about this drive-through. How is it when they can't see the ingredients? You get a lot of people forget what's at the little vegetable trays there. How's this whole transaction working?
Well, we are very. I haven't thought about ORU in years and years, and all of a sudden they're on the national stage, and they probably won't be after Saturday night. So we're gonna soak it in, everybody.
Hey, don't say that, man, bro. They took out. So was Ohio State
number
and then
2
Florida?
Ohio State, number 7 Florida.
Like, come on, man. Like at this point. You knock out those 2 teams, you got to say like these guys got something special.
Hey,
Kristen, where did you go to college?
Well, I went to Cincinnati Bible College, which, I think it might have actually been stricter than Oral Roberts. It's hard to say, but we were not allowed to dance. We were not allowed to play cards.
We weren't either. When I was there, it was way stricter when I was there than when Jessie was there.
When I was there,
you couldn't play cards.
No, those were of the devil. Apparently, you could. Guys had to have short haircuts. Guys couldn't have piercings. No one could have tattoos.
ORU guys had to wear ties to class when I was a student. Ties.
We had to wear boys had to wear ties to class on chapel day.
Okay.
And then there was a very strict dress code. And I came from Florida where we wear whatever, you know.
Oh, you don't want to see what's under the screen right now.
Yeah. I mean, Florida, we're just shoes optional, and I got dress coded just about every day at that Bible college. It was not good.
At ORU in my era, girls had to wear skirts to class.
We did too. Yeah, we did too. We were not allowed to wear shorts on campus ever.
Now, what I'm describing is not at all what ORU is now.
Yeah.
Like they got rid of that whole era shortly after Jessie graduated. But I
have a question about Cincinnati Bible College. If you were to get in trouble,
yes,
what would their means of being? Because at ORU, it's like
2 things.
they were going to fine you $50.
So $50. They say the wages of sin is $50. And then what was the other thing? Get campus.
Or you get campused, which is basically it's jail. You're not allowed to leave your dorm. And I suffered both indignities.
All the time.
In fact, one of my buddies was like, dude, you should start a $50 fine fund with my gambling winnings. And if a student has a $50 fine that they feel like they receive for something hilarious, they will send it to me and I will review the prank.
That's what you should do.
I'll review the prank. And if it's worthy, I will pay their $50 fine with my ill-gotten gambling money from the ORU men's.
Which I'm sure gambling is probably against the rules as well.
That's why I'm saying I don't even know if the school would accept the money.
Probably not.
Derek, where'd you go to college?
Middle Tennessee State University.
Oh, you went to Middle Tennessee? That's a great school.
Yeah, so I don't know nothing about
getting campus.
MTSU is it was fun. We'll just put it that way. It was a pretty fun school. It's definitely.
I went out to your campus a bunch of times when I was living in Nashville just to go to like shows and stuff, because bands there are good concerts out there, Yeah,
absolutely. It was definitely a good experience. I definitely enjoyed Middle Tennessee State.
Would you consider, because I get hit up all the time from just alumni stuff. And at this point, I think I've made a couple of small nothing, anything noteworthy. But do you guys feel compelled, like Derek with Middle Tennessee State or with Cincinnati Bible College, when they hit you up, do you have that sense of pride, like I got to support this place, or are you just kind of like, it was fun?
They're making millions of dollars, like talk about donations. They're making a lot of money. They're making more than me. No, they need to be donating to me. That's how I feel. But I rock with the Blue Raiders. But hey man, I'm not donating.
I gave back. I served on the board of trustees at ORU for 5 years. Not that long ago. But
that's dope.
I would not give money to my previous Bible college. I mean, they're defunct now anyway, but it was just, they were a little bit toxic. I don't think they would want my money. I think we parted ways. I ended up leaving. I got an associate's and ended up transferring to a university. But yeah, I think we broke up. We weren't on good terms.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's funny.
That was like me in my high school. College, we were fine, but high school, I think it was all right. It was a Peter Paul situation. You go that way, I go this way. This is a divide that we're not bridging here.
Yes.
I'm happy to see the changes at ORU from when I was there, because after I graduated, I wasn't bitter or anything, but I just didn't ever look in the rearview mirror. You know what I mean? But then 10 years later, major changes happened for the better, and the student experience now, I'm happy for them, because I see clips, they're showing clips on ESPN and stuff like that of the students watching these NCAA games, and they're playing music and they're line dancing and they're just having a great time. They're having the best time. And I'm going, line dancing. I'm literally watching it going, this is endorsed dancing. When I was there, Out of Eden came and had a concert, and they shut it down after 3 songs because people were dancing at the Out of Eden concert.
Yep.
And I'm like, how are you having an R&B pop concert and not expecting, what are we supposed to stand there stoically? Come on now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's a different era. I'm happy for them. So look at that. Hey, to all you conservative Christian schools, all your rules and all your oppression, look at your success in the NCAA tournament. It's not happening. Look at ORU. They loosened up and God's blessing them. So you need to just...
And look, the last time ORU was in the tournament, made it, to even close as far as the 1970s.
1974, Jesse.
And dude, the 70s, at the where the basketball team plays, evidently, it was the only place in all of Oklahoma that bands could come play, and ORU was just cool with it at the time. I was reading a list of people who played there. It's Elvis. That would never happen today.
Elvis played on ORU's campus.
Kiss. Kiss would never happen today. Yeah. I'm like, dude, ORU in the 70s sounds like Righteous Gemstones awesome. They'll bring in literally a band that is antithetical to everything they believe if the price is right, and just let them rock out on campus. That is my kind of Christian school.
Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talk to one of our favorite artists, Dante Bowe. You may know his solo stuff, but you also may know him from Maverick City Music. He has a brand new album out today. It's called Circles. It's incredible. We talked to him about it. Stay tuned for that. We also have relevant news. There's some big stories this week. This week's Relevant Recommends. A very special, I'm expecting a miracle with this segment. What's Jesse Thinking is coming up later. Stay tuned right now. Up next, it's Slices.
So tearing me apart now, baby.
You're listening to Prom. The song is Tearing Me Apart. Well, today's show is brought to you by Upper Room. There are some daily comforts that just make you grateful and feel more grounded in life, like petting the dog, hitting that snooze button, and of course, that first cup of coffee. These are things you count on every day to help you get where you want to go. Things like the Upper Room Daily Devotional Guide. You can count on the Upper Room for daily inspiration, daily community, and daily prayer. It's the only daily devotional magazine written by readers, ordinary people who have encountered God in daily situations. The Upper Room is here for you every day through your email, a custom app, or printed magazine. You can enjoy a free 30-day trial of their email or app services by visiting upperroom.org/welcome. That's UPPER, upper, room, ROOM.org/welcome to get your first 30 days for free. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
What do you have, Jesse?
All right, I got a twofer, and I'll make them both quick. But first, politics in this country is always very interesting to me, especially like what measures actually get brought up for votes in states. Like this is what the most important people in the state are spending time thinking about, and discussing and debating. And I love that sometimes weird laws get proposed, and like these people who have these big fancy law degrees or whatever, have to sit there and talk about the implications of the law. And the good news is,
you're laughing and I have no idea what you're talking about yet. So
a major law just passed in Maine that was vetoed and then brought back and reintroduced again because these people have had to talk about this a long time. And it is the legality of holding a Viking funeral in the state of Maine. Okay.
Wait, like in Braveheart, where they float you out and shoot flaming arrows at you?
Oh.
Outdoor. So for a long time, I guess a pretty passionate sect of voters have been wanting outdoor cremations to be legalized to do ritualistic funerals. And the governor at the time, when this first went through, vetoed it. And he's like, look, I'm paraphrasing here. He said something more diplomatic, something about, the sacredness of burying our loved ones. But he's basically like, look, again, if people are just burning dead people in the state, like, I don't want to be Maine, the Viking funeral state. Like, that's not a great look. We burn people here, literally. But they came up with some regulations and ways to do it safely. Actually, evidently, it's environmentally the best way to,
No, it's not. Haven't you heard? The afternoon stuff on NPR is like really random topic conversation.
Yeah.
I heard the other day they were talking about like the changing death industry because there's a generation of people now getting old enough to die that care about the environment and that they don't, because of the limited space of land or whatever, they're, a lot of people lean toward cremation, but that the cremation industry is actually really bad for the environment because all the smoke and fire and stuff.
Yeah, but this is no chemicals.
So,
this is
old
school.
There's a trend, they're saying, toward what they're calling organic cremation.
What does that involve?
Just letting the body rot and get eaten by worms.
Okay.
Where at though?
I don't know. You just dump them in a pile. Legal? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm saying they're talking about it. They're advocating for it now. Like it's better than burning because all the smoke.
Listen,
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure how like the water table works, but I'm pretty sure you can't just dig a hole out back and for grandma. Yeah. But either way. Because I've already determined that, like, it's looking like, all that to say, it's looking like my funeral will be held one day in the state of Maine. Because I've told people
that's the way you want to go out, Viking style.
I told people, here's who gets my stuff.
Jesse, what if nobody hits you? What if you just float so far that no arrows can get you?
It could be a long day. But here's how everyone gets my stuff. I'm pushed out there. Entombed in flowers or whatever, and then everyone at the funeral gets a bow and arrow with flaming arrows. First one that hits me gets everything. It's a or I'm going to do like one of those where I heard about those organic.
I don't think your kids would appreciate that, FYI. that like some random friend hit dad, and now I get nothing.
It's the Viking way. It's the Viking way. You know, it's a way to encourage marksmanship in early age. Okay. A real one. I thought this was really interesting. I'm not going to get into all the details because it's kind of a long story, but there's a man named James Huntsman. If the name sounds familiar, he's actually the brother of the former governor of Utah, John Huntsman. He's a pretty prominent citizen of the state of Utah himself. And he has sued the LDS Church because he wants to recover millions of dollars in tithes that he gave to them, because he has made the determination that the church isn't being honest about what his tithes have been used for, so he wants them all back. A whistleblower within the LDS Church recently made allegations. I should say the LDS Church has adamantly denied these allegations that the church,
for the uninformed, LDS is Latter-day Saints. That's Mormons.
It's Mormon. Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's sort of their preferred nomenclature. But yeah, most people casually know them as Mormons. But the LDS Church, according to these allegations, is sitting on about $100 billion that they've kind of designated as sort of rainy day money. But the allegations are that a lot of this money that they've sort of been hoarding from tithes is either they're sitting on it or they're pumping into failing businesses that are associated with the church. So they're using tithe money to try to prop up businesses, specifically in Utah real estate. Now, all of that is sort of interesting, but either way, when this man said he was giving these donations, he was under the impression that they would go to help the poor and the work of the church and overseas mission efforts. But he says because they're evidently using them or allegedly using them for something else, he wants it all back. The reason I thought this was so interesting is I don't really care about sort of the financial, nuances of the LDS investments, but I do think it would be a really interesting precedent if he sues the church for his millions and gets them back. Because think about
the tithe refund precedents.
Okay, so think about this. I mean, but think about
trouble.
That's trouble,
because
buddy.
let's say it's a mega church and the pastor is a well-known figure who has some sort of moral failing, and
what? Never.
And the church and their work is instantly discredited. I think you could make some sort of legal. Now, in this case, the guy's claiming fraud. But if you could say, hey, they didn't live up to their end of the deal. I gave them money on the assumption that they would maintain some sort of moral standard, and they didn't. Would it create a precedent? So my question for you guys is this. What do you think this precedent could do? And if it goes through, do you think it would encourage churches to be more transparent about their finances? If they knew it could be possible they could be sued for giving tithes
there's
back.
no contract, and nobody took your money. You gave the money.
You gave it. Yeah, it's a donation.
But this guy's claiming fraud.
So is it bad that I now have a Google Doc open and I'm starting a list of churches that I would like a refund from? Is that bad? No, I mean, I agree. I think, I don't know about that.
It's not a business deal,
It's not a business deal. It's a donation.
But he's saying it was fraudulent because essentially it was a verbal contract. But
at the same time, the $100 billion, that's called an endowment. Every nonprofit university, Christian university, ministry has an endowment, and those endowments aren't like Scrooge McDuck sitting in a vault. They're investments, and that money then gets invested into businesses and things to then make more money back. So like you put it in stocks and then, the stock market goes down. Oh no, you wasted my money, fraud. I mean, it's an endowment. They invest in businesses like real estate and others. It's just, that's how it works. I mean,
according to the lawsuit, he said that the global church, quote, repeatedly and publicly lied about the use of billions of dollars in members' donations solicited to pay for missionary work, building temples, and other educational and charitable work.
But think about it. So the donations go into the endowment. The endowment gets invested to then increase the revenue of the endowment, and then out of the spillover, it goes to the work of the church. He's mad that it goes in the medium time into business investment to increase in value to then go out. Like he wants to just go directly out, but the church is actually being smart. They're taking parable of the talents. I don't know if the Mormons believe in that book of the Bible, but the parable of the talents, you don't bury it. You go invest it and increase it, and God blesses it. And it can have his $100 $10 can have more impact than $100, you know? He just doesn't, I just don't think he understands. Like, you know what I mean? It just sounds like he doesn't understand.
But devil's advocate, because some of this money went to businesses and investments that were failing.
Yeah, but that's an investment. It's a risk. Stock market goes up, goes down.
But I think what the interesting precedent that could be established here is how much transparency does a church need to give its donors when it's soliciting donations? Because right now it's pretty much the Wild West. Like if I went up in the pulpit in church and just asked people to give me money and I said it was for something and I did something else with it, I don't know if there's any way to hold me accountable legally. If I could just
that's
defraud,
a good point.
if I could just, is there anything?
I grew up in a church where in the back of our Sunday bulletin, they printed that week's all the finances, what last week's tithes were, where every line item in the budget was, if we're above or below. And then, I mean, it's on our church website what the pastor's salary was.
But even hypothetically, if they had printed inflated or deflated figures within the bulletin or the website, that's not a legal document. Is that fraud? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is the
our church had an annual audit that was available to the congregation.
Yeah, so that's audited. But what I'm saying is like there is no real legal line for holding accountable for the solicitation of these types of donations. And yeah, even if this doesn't, you know, like the LDS church seems pretty confident that, you know, they're not going to have to refund these tithes. But the fact that this person's doing it is enough for something I feel like it's probably good to keep an eye on, because if it breaks one way, this could have significant implications in terms of legal precedent for other civil cases against religious institutions.
I do think nonprofits have to disclose their finances. I mean, Charity Navigator.
I thought so too. I thought there was some required visibility.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I know there is, but I also know that there can be some degrees of ambiguity about those disclosures. You know what I mean?
And deceit, of course.
Yeah. And what if a donor doesn't take the time to read the audit? And I go to an event.
Well, if the guy is this worked up about where the money goes, then you should read the audit before you file a lawsuit. You know, I mean,
he could have saved himself some publicity here. Yeah.
But also, like, I'm not even Mormon, and I know that they like take money and invest it in businesses. Like, and I'm not even in that world, so I don't think that all of this could have been that much of a surprise.
Yeah, it just seems to me like this guy's just confused.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. What do you have, Kristen?
Okay. So in the New York Times, there was a recent study that indicated that we have collectively gained about 2 pounds a month during the pandemic. And I feel attacked by this news.
Not collectively. I think everybody. I don't think everybody has only gained 2 pounds. I read this.
2 pounds a month.
No, I know, but collectively means we all added up to 2 pounds.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Every person on average has gained 2 pounds a month. I read over the last year since COVID quarantine started, it was like the average person has gained 20 pounds.
Oh my word.
Oh man.
But it's real. It's real. I mean, our house, we have been comfort eating a lot more. We've been baking. And you know what feels the most frustrating to me is like we've all been living in, I have been living in elastic waist pants. And the real trauma of the pandemic is like trying to put those jeans back on a few months in. Like, oh, okay, I don't have pants now. I guess I'll just keep wearing these leggings because all my jeans don't fit.
I don't know what it is about just like sitting. In my mind, I'm like, dude, if I'm just hanging at home, right? I have no social obligations.
Yeah.
I'll be the best shape of my life because I'm not going to be eating out every night. I'm not going to be, going to lunches. I'll have a lot of time to work out. It goes the total opposite happens. It's like,
that's crazy.
Have you guys noticed any difference in the last year?
Not for me.
Really?
I'm pretty much the same size. I'm actually trying to just get better. I'm trying to eat more healthy and get down to music video shape because we're getting ready to start rolling out promos. So like that's kind of what happens is, it's almost like a football player or a basketball player. Like in the off season, you kind of But then when the season starts, you kind of get it together. So
you got the James Harden.
You got the James Harden come back looking a little puffy, a little thick.
Hey, I'm not trying to have the squirrel cheeks in the videos. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of went the first couple months. I had my wake up call of like, all right, I got to get it together here because this could be, this is. It's so easy just to kind of hang out and order and then like early on in the pandemic, I was using this as an excuse. I was like, hey man, I got to support these local businesses out here delivering.
Dude, I was Uber eating everything. Yeah.
I was ordering at my favorite restaurants. I'm like, I got to keep them in business, man. I've got to place a gigantic order again tonight.
Yeah.
All I know is my whole family is a little fluffier. And I will say this too. My white children have turned translucent in the pandemic. Like I thought that I had two blonde girls. Well, the lack of sun, now they just have brown hair and their skin is see-through.
That is so funny. Yeah, it's officially pool weather here in Florida. So the last 2 weekends I've been floating for hours and hours and hours trying to get that get
a little melanin back.
Yeah, exactly. Get some vitamin D going. Yeah, that's funny. That it's actually kind of good to hear that like the average American has gained 20 pounds because then we all are in this together, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just you. But man, that's crazy. So I guess what we're saying, Derek, you need to open up your portfolio and invest in some fitness stocks because a lot of people are going to probably be trying to get back on the.
I got Peloton. Peloton. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you do it pretty consistently?
No.
He's at the stock.
I was like, you got to good for you, man.
I got the stock.
Nah, but I told my wife I might grab the bike though, for real. I think it's a dope thing to be able to have people like hold you accountable, like literally on the bike. Like Peloton changed the game with that. So I definitely plan on grabbing a bike. But
I read a review.
My account set up.
I have Nordic Track stuff here, which has the iFit trainers and like you can do all the things and they control the machine, all that stuff. But they have a new bike out that's supposed to compete with Peloton. And I read an article kind of breaking down the two of them. And the thing that Peloton tapped into isn't just the trainer experience, class experience, but the social experience, because so many people have Pelotons now that your friends are there and you actually have this very like interactive ranking with your like group of friends and stuff. It's like the Nike Run app and stuff like that. You get a little crew of friends that actually, and all that. Yeah. It's like, that's what Peloton tapped into. And so the other brands can't get that like momentum to get enough customers to like do that. So
have that community.
They're out in the front. Peloton's going to stay there. That's a good investment. I scooped up Nike. I'm telling you, America is going to want to shed that 20 and they're going to go out there and like invest.
You're right.
You know what I mean? It's true.
When we have to see each other again, it's going to get real.
See, I doubled down on Wrangler because they got a good sweatpant line. They got that husky market down. Elastic waists. I got a lot in the elastic industry right now. A tremendous amount of stock for the waistband, for big waistband.
I wanted to bring an incredible investment and business opportunity to you guys. It's called LuLaRoe. And you guys want to work from home? Who wants to own their own business? I have some brochures.
Let me ask you something.
I'll email you guys about it.
Would it be okay if I buy a significant amount of inventory and just keep it at my house?
Sure.
And then maybe set up maybe I'll buy like a trailer or something and paint it like I'm associated with this company and have little sales by the side of the road? Do you think that would work?
I can get you in with a minimum investment of $10,000.
Okay. And just tell me I'm going to need to move some monies around.
You're just going to need to buy about 2,000 pairs of leggings.
Hey, I'm in. It's pending some litigation with a former church. I might be on board with you.
I literally like on Instagram and stuff, I don't follow anybody who does what you're talking about, right? So I know that MLM thing, influencer thing exists. I just don't see it ever. But in the last week or so, I started like watching more reels, their TikTok thing. And you just kind of like browse people you're not following. It's just like It is 90% what you're talking about. It is it's either people doing TikTok dances or it's, middle-aged women going, hey, I'm a successful entrepreneur and you can be like me. And they pitch it. And it's like, I'm white. I've been, it is so mesmerizing. It is fascinating to me. And it's like, Huge. Crazy. Anyway.
There's a great podcast called The Dream, and season 1 does a deep dive in the MLM industry. If people are interested in kind of sort of the insidious nature, speaking of Utah and the LD and its connections there.
Yeah.
Fascinating deep dive if you're looking for it's like a docuseries. It's hearty endorsement from me.
Cool. All right. What do you have, Derek?
All right. So, there's this scripture talks about in Revelation about what's going to happen at the end of the world.
Okay.
At the end of the world, it talks about how the moon was going to turn to blood and the sun was going to be blotted out, right? All those things.
Rising, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's an experiment that's about to go on in June where they're going to chunk about 12 kilograms of chalk into the sky, looking to kind of darken the sun in an attempt to try to help with global warming.
What?
The idea is they want to dim the sun. Oh, and guess who's one of the financiers of this project?
This isn't going to be good.
This is going to really help out QAnon and our conservative Christians. Your man Bill Gates,
yep.
right? But
yep. There's going to be some strongly worded Facebook posts about this.
Oh, no.
Buddy. I
Bill
kid you
Gates
not.
is trying to blot out the sun to help with global warming, and it's going to turn red.
So I guess he's working with Harvard, and the idea is they're going to shoot 12 balloons of chalk over Sweden and start studying this way. So they shoot it up there. The chalk's going to dim the sun over the area. Then they're going to check it out. So experts are saying the obvious thing. Hey, guys, we don't know what's going to happen if you put all this chalk in the atmosphere with the weather pattern. So probably not really worth it. But it's probably going to happen in June. So
and who's Bill Gates' PR guy or girl or who?
Right.
Or
it has to be on purpose at this point. I'm convinced
because a couple years ago he was like, all right, I'm gonna I made all this money. I'm just like this kind of nerdy guy who was selling computers. And you know what? I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to publicly pledge to give it all away. I'm going to create a foundation to eradicate diseases. Totally safe.
I will tell you from firsthand experience, the Gates Foundation is doing amazing work. I've gone to their summit several years in a row. I've been involved with their work. The Gates Foundation is making a difference.
Yeah.
What Bill Gates is now kind of playing with is not their core mission. I'm just telling you that.
But what I'm saying is, even when he was just inoculating impoverished communities, people were like, it's Bill Gates. You know what? Bill Gates in his mind is probably like, everyone's going to love me. And people are like, you're literally the devil. And every time he tries to do something cool, people are like, no, he's definitely the devil. He's definitely. Wait. Vaccines for a pandemic? Definitely helping poor kids.
How dare you?
I ain't going to take the Bill Gates vaccine.
And Bill Gates in his mind just like, hey, listen, I know I keep losing them. I'll get him with the next one. I promise I'll win everybody back.
Blot out the sun.
Listen, I'll fix global warming with chalk. Yeah. Listen, people will love
this
me
is going
then.
to be the most epic, Facebook
conspiracy
of the decade. In June, when this pops off, I'm gonna download Facebook again and just watch.
Hey, all right, but here's my advice for anyone who's concerned about this, okay? Or it's like, it has your Bill Gates conspiracies. Go counterintuitive here. Just post, Bill Gates is actually a pretty great dude. Once Bill Gates starts seeing these, he's gonna tap back. He's gonna be like, oh, you know what? I'm appreciated. I'm loved. I don't need to shoot chalk in the sky anymore. People actually love me. As long as these people keep calling him out, he's gonna keep upping the stakes. The man just wants a little affection.
The guy could cure cancer, and people would be like, he's Satan. He's Satan still.
He may take out cancer, but he's going to put something else in you, like a chip.
What? Yeah. What's going to happen?
Derek, another investment tip. I would invest in cleaning services and Swiffer, specifically with European distribution over Sweden, because there's going to be 12 kilograms of dust.
Hey, we're going to need a lot of Swiffers, dog.
That's what I'm saying. Invest in it. It's going to be a boom. There's going to be a run on Swiffer. Invest now.
Invest in chalk. I don't even know what chalk is. If I were to be like, hey, I need to invest in chalk, I wouldn't even know who to call. Like, if I need to go buy, if someone's like, hey, man, you need a bunch of chalk. I'm like, I don't even, is that like an industrial product? Like, I know how to buy like a stick, but I think that's
where do you
get
my knowledge 12 of chalk? Kilograms of chalk to throw in the sky. Are you just gonna go to Walmart and just break the mugs up, the chalk sticks?
And if I wanted to invest, if I'm like, hey man, this chalk thing, I got to call. What's chalk's trading for today, Derek? What do I look for on that board? CH. I'm not seeing chalk anywhere on here,
Can't
guys.
find chalk anywhere.
It would be a commodity. It'd be like buying corn and stuff. You could buy talc. I think it might be talc.
I don't know,
but
man.
it's not like something uncommon, Jesse. It's a mineral that like cave people could use, and they drew on walls and stuff.
It's not telling me where it came from or how to get it.
Hey, see, that's another conspiracy right there.
What even is chalk?
Look. All right, conservative QAnon people. I was wrong, bro.
No, we ran them off months ago. Don't worry, they're not listening.
Well, look. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me because you was right. This man tried to kill us, dog. This man tried to kill us, bro.
And here's why I don't think it's that sinister. Because if people are like, no, think about it, man, this super villain. If you're watching like a James Bond movie or any spy movie, and they're like, hey man, the villain, you got to stop him. He's got a devious plan. And it's like, what is he gonna do? He's gonna shoot a bunch of chalk in the air, and you're like. That's the villain? Like, I was expecting like a biochemical or like a cool laser or something. Yeah. You're telling me we got to worry about the chalk guy? Like, I don't know.
Like, the chalk thing sounds mildly inconvenient. Like, it could be kind of awkward and dark, and there might be like a layer of chalk later. Like, that's the worst that could happen.
But what about the poor Swedish children with asthma? What are they? Yeah. What air are they supposed to breathe?
No, I hear you.
Come on, Bill Gates.
Yeah, it does sound a little troubling. I don't know.
I'm like, man, can we just get back to recycling or whatever instead of shooting chalk in the, I mean, we just do the basic stuff like this chalk in the sky thing. I'm not gonna lie, it's got me kind of like, what in the world are we at? Is this the Hail Mary of clean energy? Are we this bad?
Well, maybe we are.
They just need to. Let's bring LeBron out there. Just get him throwing it. He throws a bunch in the air all the time. Anyway, just have LeBron walk around, chalk it up.
All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Relevant News.
After coffee, sitting all alone in thought, wondering if I should give it up, move away, find a little spot on the coast, no reception, and my secret goes unknown. But I'm too scared to jump. Yeah, I'm too scared to jump. Yeah, I'm too scared to jump.
You're listening to Joywave. The song is After Coffee. All right, it's time for
Relevant News.
Please welcome to the show Relevant Senior Editor Tyler Huckabee, telling us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, everybody.
So what's going on?
So we are going to talk today. We're recording this on Wednesday. You're listening to this on Friday. We're still are obviously reeling from the not one but two mass shootings that took place in less than a week. 18 people have died, and this has obviously galvanized a very old conversation in this country around gun control. So we want to take a step back and look at some of the actual facts and some of the data on gun control and what nobody can forecast what's going to happen in the near future. It's a fast-moving conversation, but we can tell you a little bit about what we know. Now, President Joe Biden has been he's been in this game long enough to have really been on a lot of different sides of the gun control debate. As the conversation has evolved, he's evolved along with it pretty rapidly. He is called right now for some fairly comprehensive gun reform measures. He said, I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save lives in the future. It should not be a partisan issue. This is an American issue. It'll save lives, American lives. We have to act. Now, he has called for a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, and he wants to strengthen background checks as key to his vision for gun law reform. Now, these are going to face some kind of long odds in Congress. Obviously, this is not going to be especially among Republicans, and even a few Democrats are dragging their heels on these proposals. Now, what's interesting, and this kind of gets lost in the conversation sometimes, these are actually fairly popular among voters. This is not in terms of voters very contentious. It is among elected leaders extremely contentious, to the point of being very likely impossible in the coming weeks here, unless something changes, which doesn't look super likely right now, honestly. He has brought up the possibility of using an executive order to push some of these things through, but he has very limited ability to really do any. You can't just strike the Second Amendment through executive order, right? So there would be, he could maybe do some things in terms of strengthening background checks, which people do really want. About 60% of Americans support strengthening background checks. But in terms of limiting high capacity magazines or assault weapons, you're not going to see that happen through an executive order. That's just not legal. Although, as we learned with the last administration, sometimes things we didn't know were legal can just kind of happen anyway, and nobody knows what to do about it for a few months, but it would very likely not survive any sort of legal challenge were he to do that. So that's where things stand at the political level. And obviously, like with most things, the political level isn't necessarily where the rest of us are at. I don't know what you guys are seeing in terms of your interest or how you're feeling about all of this, but it is interesting to know what the mechanics and the politics are. At least I think it is.
Well, Cameron, you were shaking your head thinking that this would never pass.
It's not going to, because any bill has to get 60 senators.
Yeah.
And we love our guns.
That's 10 Republicans. And it's nothing will happen with 10 Republicans. Zero.
It's so frustrating because I think we have data, we have clear data. We can look at other countries, which I know America doesn't really like to do, but, we can look around and learn from others. And then it feels like, I know that my friendships can skew in a certain way, but like most people I know are for background checks, sensible, like not like, let's take all the guns away, but like, hey, let's treat this like a driver's license.
Yeah, don't give it to criminals.
It's just unfortunate because our politicians are not necessarily keeping what's in the best interest of their constituents in mind. They're thinking, how do I get reelected and how do I keep NRA money? It's just a really broken system, and it's frustrating. I feel like we keep going around with the same thing. I don't know what it will take. I really don't.
It's just I think the environment is too partisan right now. Like, when Biden as a senator pushed this assault gun ban 25 years ago, just wasn't as divided as it is now. There's zero. This is one of the issues that there will be zero crossing the aisle on. Immigration, maybe. Other economic things, maybe, but not guns and probably not abortion.
I was going to say partisanship has really made kind of reasonable, at least debate, very difficult, because you see a lot of grandstanding and sort of theatrics instead of what I feel like could be earnest dialogue about pretty nuanced, complicated issues. Like if there is like just the nature of our kind of modern democratic system, this isn't necessarily an indictment of it. It's just the reality is that it doesn't incentivize that. It incentivizes polarization, right? If you're an elected official that has the support of your party that is essentially funding your campaign, which is how most of these legislators get their jobs, there's no incentive for you to pull towards the middle at all, because they want it's all about entrenchment into certain ideas or perception around what the implications of those ideas are. So you're just further and further incentivized to demonize your opponent and distinguish yourself even among your colleagues. And when that happens, it's like it just makes any sort of reasonable dialogue. It takes that off the table, because as soon as a like conservative senator, or a lawmaker says something along the lines about discussing what reasonable policy on this issue would be, that's going to be pulled and posted on Twitter by a further to the fringe outlet on their side, posted to Twitter, and then you see this on both sides. Like the people who don't kind of toe party lines get eaten by their own, and that happens on both sides of which is partisanship in general, and it just really made these types of discussions difficult.
And I think I think even with let's put discussion aside and just say we could vote on this right now. Like right now, it could go straight to wherever we needed to get it voted on. The reality of it is for a lot of Americans, although they are like, man, that sucks that 18 people just got killed, we're not really serious about getting rid of guns. Like this at best is virtue signaling. Like at best, I think there's people that actually care about this, but as a collective society, I just don't think it's almost like, and this is going to be a very crude example, but using the bathroom, taking a dump, your stink doesn't smell as bad to you as it does to the rest of the world. And I just think we're just sitting in this stink and we're like, it's not that bad. Even though a guy can go mow down 10 people at the grocery store or whatever, and we'll make up an excuse. Well, if you get rid of ARs, they're going to stab people to death. But hey, at least they're not shooting 60 bullets a minute. Like, at least that's not happening. We're not serious about it though. It's not bad enough for us yet. And I don't know what else has to happen for us to say, all right, guys, we really got an issue with guns. Should we take them away? Nah, but come on, guys. We gotta lessen this. I mean, it's like literally year after year, and it's not slowing down. We're more and more educated than ever, but we're not going backwards. So that means that there's a fundamental issue here. We got to get to the bottom of it if we're serious.
That's a good final word. If you feel strongly about this, our politicians who we're frustrated with, they're elected by us. So let your voice be heard, speak with your vote, put pressure on DC to do something about it. I mean, the power to the people, right? I mean, let's try to make a difference. But yeah, it's really frustrating. I agree with all y'all. All right. Thanks, Tyler. There's a lot more where that came from. Every day we're publishing over at relevantmagazine.com. Follow us on all those socials. Well, it was a little heavy this week. It was a heavy news week. There's a lot of other stuff too, like Bieber stuff and, all that. So whatever you're into, we got it going. All right. Stay tuned. Up next, Dante Bowe joins us. You're listening to Rostam. The song is Forerunner, as in like Toyota Forerunner is how it's spelled. Well, today's show is brought to you by UHSM. These days, finding affordable quality healthcare is more difficult than ever. So if you're looking to save up to 50% off your healthcare expenses, listen up. You don't have to wait around hoping healthcare will improve in the U.S. Instead, join millions of Christians who are choosing health share memberships like UHSM. UHSM is a nonprofit Christian health share with the sole mission of helping you achieve your best health. Protect your health with modern health sharing from UHSM, including programs with prescription benefits from CVS Caremark, no-cost telehealth visits, and access to more than 1 million doctors and providers. Satisfy your medical needs and save up to 50% with UHSM Health Share. It's member-to-member health sharing, and it's awesome. See why millions are choosing this Christian alternative to traditional insurance? Ask if you qualify for UHSM membership today by calling or texting 833-367-8476. That's 833-367-8476 or 833-367-UHSM. Or visit uhsm.com/care. That's uhsm.com/care. Seriously, great site, great program. Incredibly impressive. Go check them out. Well, Dante Bowe is a singer, songwriter, worship artist, recording artist from Atlanta. He's co-written a variety of popular songs like Maverick City Music's Promises and In Spite of Me featuring Sierra with Tasha Cobbs Leonard. Today, his brand new album Circles releases, and he sat down with us to talk about the album, talk about how art helped him grow up, and why he believes that music can help bring clarity to spiritually complex topics. Here's our conversation with Dante Bowe.
Already working. Hang tight, ain't worried now. Hold on. If it takes a while, hold on. Ain't no need to try to figure out. God's
had an interesting past few years, obviously, but for a lot of people who are going to listen to this, reading this, they're not necessarily going to know maybe your full origin story. Can you give me just kind of a snapshot of the background and how you got to where you're at right now?
So, yeah, I was raised in a musical family, loved gospel, loved R&B and the hip hop and all the stuff. Ultimately, when I was 16, I dedicated my life to God and started doing Christian music and working in studios. And mom would just take me and to any audition they could take me to. And I think I did like American Idol, like The Voice, all the stuff, I think. And one time when I was doing American Idol, I remember when they were going to tell me whether I was going to make it on the show or not, I had like an anxiety attack because I was so nervous about it. But ultimately, it led me to creating my own music, and that music started creating its own buzz. And it wasn't like this quick, obviously. There was a season where I was homeless and all the stuff. And but over time, I would say like 2019, I started to just see like the fruit of my labor and started just writing for a bunch of folks and signed my first record deal and with Bethel Music and started recording with Maverick and all the stuff. So, yeah.
You knew you could sing, obviously. You're trying out for American Idol. When did you realize that you could write too? When did you get the writing bug?
Dude, it's crazy because I feel like I've always been able to write. I was diagnosed, I was dyslexic. Pretty much until I was 16 years old.
That must have been a huge struggle.
Huge struggle. Hated anything literature. So as you could, you probably imagine, I hated anything literature. And so I was a storyteller. I had a huge imagination. Growing up, I was that one kid with the broomstick, it was a sword, bro. I'd sing into the shampoo bottles in the shower. I had a trampoline, swing sets. We were just outdoorsy, country kids, me and my brother. So we had a huge imaginations, and I would always tell stories and loved anything like that. But I knew I could write. I guess I had to be 10. It was a rap, I think. I wrote for my dad, and it was so stupid, but I remember he thought it was great, and so that helped me continue to just write more.
So you've got quite a bit of encouragement creatively, right? This was not a situation where people were your parents or your pastors, mentors, whoever were telling you no, you got to get back to the books. You got to study harder. You felt pretty encouraged.
Yeah, I was encouraged my whole life to be creative. And I remember one time I was in kindergarten and my teacher gave me a bad grade because I was coloring outside of the lines. And my mom, I remember she told me that's not a bad thing. You should be able to color outside the lines if you want to. And so I had those kind of parents that just they thought it was great that I was doing something creative. It was exciting for them, and it gave them something to kind of hope for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
Because school, you have an expected end. Kind of
sure.
Go to college, you get the job. It's an expected end, which is still awesome. But then with what I was doing, I think it gave them something to hope or believe in.
So I'll give my heart over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. Oh, I'll give my heart over and over again, over and over again. This feels like love. It's not gonna hurt me. This feels like
You said at 16 is when you really dedicated your life to God. How did that come around?
Yeah, I was raised in church because of my grandparents, and so I never really had an altar call moment or whatever. But at 16, I just was in my room listening to Kiara Sheard. She's a gospel artist, and I ended up just weeping, crying out to the Lord. And I feel like that was my first real encounter with God, where I knew He was real. And so from that day forward, my life was completely devoted to God and just devoted to Jesus and His cause. So yeah.
At what point did Maverick City come into the picture for you?
Okay, yeah, like, so there was no such thing as Maverick City. It was just a group of friends in a text message. It's like 5 of us. And we were like, we should come together and write songs. So, funny story, one of the guys that was in the group text, he was like, what if I could bring one of my really good friends, Brandon Lake? That'd be fun. And we were like, sure, yeah, bring Brandon Lake. We don't know this guy, but just bring him. But yeah, so we all came together in Atlanta at Passion City, and we just wrote a bunch of songs, which is volume 1, volume 2. Was and then obviously Tasha Cobb's "This Is a Move," and a bunch of other people's songs were written in those rooms as well. And we put out that demo-ish first volume 1, but before we put it out, we were like, we got to name it something like. And since we were like an Atlanta-based thing, they used to call Atlanta the Maverick City, so we just named Tony Brown decided to name it just Maverick City. So we went with that, and yeah, that's how I became a part of Maverick City, I guess.
Why do you think that, and after this, I do want to talk about your own album that's coming out here, but why do you think Mav City has been so successful? Because it has exploded, unlike very few worship movements I've seen since I've been covering this for Relevant have seen happen. What's the secret sauce there?
Secret sauce to Maverick City is different kind of people. It's like different cultures coming together and writing their stories together. It's like every song is like this collaborative effort to communicate. Maybe 4 or 5 people, whoever wrote the song, 4 different people's stories. And we have an Indian girl that's amazing named MJ. We have a Dominican guy, Aaron Moses. We have now a Canadian, Ryan, and black and, white. And so I think that's the secret sauce, is that everyone's happy. I mean, it was like last year when we found out we were number 1 in gospel on Billboard and number 2 on contemporary Christian, which that hadn't been done ever, but it's because everyone feels like this is their music, because it's not like necessarily pointing to one, culture or one thing. It's like, this is for everybody. You know what I mean? So everyone can find themselves in Maverick City, and that's why it's successful.
All the blessing and glory, it will be yours and yours alone. Hey, so let the people of God testify. If God still provides, tell the truth. If He's been good to you, raise a shout. If He brought you out, everything with breath, sing praises.
Did you have like a moment when you realized like, okay, I think I'm ready to do my own thing, to release a solo album? Did you have like a lightning bolt moment, or was it more of a slow journey?
I've always said I was a solo artist. Like, I am a solo artist, so I'm technically signed as a solo artist. And I do collective things with like Bethel and with like Maverick. So I've always thought about my projects and like what I want to release as a solo artist. And with this specific project, I had 2 other albums before this that I threw away. So like,
you tossed them?
I tossed them, bro. We actually were just listening to the project that I was going to put out. We were just listening to it on the road. But yeah, so I had 2 other albums that I worked super hard on with some amazing producers, and I tossed them. I've only released one of those songs, and that was Be Alright. Be Alright was going to be the single of the project I was going to put out. But anyway, so I just felt like there was more to say, and I wanted to reflect the times more, and I wanted to reflect like, my culture, where I come from, also, speak into the future and talk about the joy and the good stuff. And
sure.
So, yeah, I got with Lael in California, and we worked on a brand new project, and it took about 2 years to finish. And this is that project.
So you said you wanted to speak to the times more. What do you mean by that?
Well, the racial tensions and also how it's felt for me being a black man, you know, and in the midst of all of this. Not only that, but being a black man with influence everywhere in all, like so many different cultures.
Sure.
And when I say something, like so many different kind of people listen. And so I wanted to enlighten with my music and not just write, you know, songs that are like painting the sky with rainbows and like all the good stuff. But I wanted to like make sure people became, after they listen to this record, I hope they're more aware and they feel like, man, that was so exciting, so lighthearted. Because the album is very like rhythmic, like so much rhythm. And just like, you've heard Joyful or maybe not, but like it's just so.
I was just listening to it before I called.
It's lighthearted, but the message is so potent. And that's kind of what I want. I want people to leave or finish this album and say, man, I feel more aware and just feel more, you know, uplifted, you know?
I'm gonna be joyful. I'm gonna be joyful today. I'm gonna be joyful. Yes, I am. I'm gonna be joyful today. I got the joy drop down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I got the joy down in my heart, down in my heart.
It sounds like what you're trying to do is not shy away from heavy topics, addiction, racial tension, etc. But you also don't want to. You want the music to have that joyful, sort of optimistic, future casting vision for it. Is it hard to navigate? That sounds like a really tough balance to get on an album.
Well, you know, it's not hard for me, but I because I'm a deep thinker. Like I'm like not the small talk guy. Like I literally. Like with me and my friends, I have like all my close friends live down the street from me, and they're on Maverick City too. A lot of them are, but we have just deep discussions naturally every day. So on top of that, I love music, so I write melodic, like very like weird melodies and like just fun like background vocal stuff and all that stuff, but my message is always going to be probably something, you know, just a little past the shallow line. Probably every song is going to be that way, just because that's kind of how I operate. That's kind of how I think.
Tell me a little bit about what Joyful. You were just talking about Joyful. Why is that the first single?
You know, I have all these songs that do different things to me and to my label mates and like people that have listened to these songs with me and like helped me decide on what songs to choose. And we felt like for the times that Joyful was just a message that just felt like important, you know what I mean? And just the choosing of joy just felt like more relevant than, no pun intended, but more relevant than anything right now. And so, yeah, I went with it in my labels because there's some good, like, that's not my best song. Like that, to me, that's like, it's the commercial song. It's like, gonna be joy, you know, but like, it was something that we just felt like this is necessary. There are other songs on here that we know people will probably like, you know, but it's like, we wanted that message to be clear. And I think we wanted to just start the album off with like, you know what? This has been one crazy year, but we're going to be joyful. So
you're a Christian who's writing at a time where there's a lot of fear, a lot of anger, a lot of division out there. You're a black man who's making music at a time where there's enormous racial tension. It just seems to me, from where I'm sitting, that you'd feel a lot of pressure. Is that something you feel like you have an obligation to audiences to say something right? Does that enter into your framework, or is that not, am I reading that wrong? Is that not part of your equation as an artist?
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure. And I think it's like a healthy pressure. I don't feel burdened, but I do feel like there's a weight attached to what I'm doing and what I'm saying. Being a man like super, super close to his family, you know, my grandmother and grandfather, I know all about their journeys, and I know about my great grandmother's journeys and stuff like that. And I do feel like there's an obligation there to like tell these stories. Like, this is a part of your lineage. This is your life. If people are buying Dante Bowe music, they need to know about Dante Bowe. And like, that's who I am. And so how do I do that and still keep, you know, my Brazilian fan base and my, you know, Caucasian fan base and, you know, my, you know, Latin American fan base engaged? And that's just been the little weight that's there, but I feel like it's been working and everyone's been like super excited. And I feel like my supporters, they support justice, and if they don't, they'll stop following me eventually.
And keep going. Oh, na 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 na, keep going. Put your face against the wind and keep going.
That was Dante Bowe. You can check out his new album. It's called Circles, wherever you get your music. Stay tuned. Up next, it's What's Jesse Thinking?
But as the time rolls by, I will be on your side.
This week on Relevant Recommends, we're recommending Lana Del Rey's new album, Chemtrails Over the Country Club. It's a very pretty album. It's warmer and it's a little more intimate than a lot of her previous work, but she still holds listeners at a slight remove. She has a very keen vision of America. She sees the current state of things better than a lot of her artistic peers do, and she's catching God out of the corner of her eye, which is a big deal. You can read our full review over at relevantmagazine.com.
Just wanna start again.
You're listening to Coin. The song is Sprite. To buy a Sprite in a vending machine, you usually need coins. I guess they take dollar bills too. Well, today's episode is brought to you by podcast creation platform Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor yet, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's free. There are custom tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every major platform. The cool thing is you can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Okay, it's time for
What's Jesse Thinking? Oh,
love to have it back. We took 2 weeks off because we were doing games. But now we are back with a very special miracle expectation edition of What's Jesse Thinking?
All right, so here's what I'm thinking, guys. We just need more miracles in our lives. And thankfully, I've come to the table with, I'm solution-oriented. Okay?
I expect them, Jesse.
Yeah, we should be expecting them all the time. March Madness as an ORU fan has been so much fun. It's made me remember how much joy a miraculous sports outcome can be. Okay. It's just pure joy, pure excitement. You're witnessing, these guys do something seemingly miraculous. So I started thinking, what's some ways that we can inject some miracles just into regular sports? Because, look, the reason the ORU run is so cool because this never happens. A 15 seed has never made the Sweet 16.
That's not true. Florida Gulf Coast 3 years ago. They're
that's
the only two teams to ever do it.
Exactly. The Dunk City team. Yeah. But it never happened. So what if we kind of seed this thing? Plant, this is seed faith, guys. Plant a couple seeds, see if we get some miracles in return. Okay, this is basic ORU theology.
About? Yeah, it is basic ORU theology.
So I've come up with some ways to make regular sports events more miraculous and fun. Some of these I know I've touched on previously, but I flushed out my list a little. I'm going to throw them out there and you tell me how much more miraculous this would make watching a regular sport. Okay. You know how they have ceremonial opening pitches in baseball where Jimmy Carter will get out there and just throw a big meatball right down the, opening pitches from here on count. Okay, if someone wants to take a former president yard right at the beginning of the game, it happens. Expect a miracle,
so
baby.
George Bush is throwing the opening pitch. Right now, it's just a catcher, and everybody claps, and he gets handed the ball, and then now let's start the game. You're saying a batter is there.
Bryce Harper's up there, ready to crack that thing yard. Okay.
And what if he throws a ball? Does he get all the pitches?
He has to throw a strike. He has to go until he throws a strike or makes contact with a bat. So that's one. I'm telling you, who wouldn't watch that? Every person would watch baseball.
I watch
okay. One fan must be on the court at all times in the third quarter of an NBA game. Okay.
Like as a player?
As a player. They have to flip a coin before and who in the third quarter gets a fan to come on and play. Okay. For each NFL team can switch out the regular football for one of those Nerf Turbo Vortexes for 2 plays a game. Man,
they'll throw that 400 yards.
Exactly. You get 2 plays. You can bust out the Nerf Vortex. League, okay, this is a good one. League switch night. So send the WNBA, start playing the NFL one night. NFL players, put them on ice hockey. League switch night. Every player has to switch to a different sports league to see who's the real athletes. Okay, it's league switch night.
Okay,
all of America would watch.
I like
this
that.
One's easy. Fan Zamboni driver at between corners at the hockey game, and no lessons. You can't tell him anything. You say, go out in the... Because here's the thing, the Zamboni just sliding around out there. How bad could somebody possibly get
So
hurt?
right now, the whole point of a Zamboni, I'm a Floridian, is to kind of slightly melt and smooth the
Clean
ice.
out
And
the
so
ice.
They do it a very methodical way. So the fan may be zigzagging all over the place. The players come back, they got rough patches,
You're not
patches.
even allowed to tell them what's the gas and what's the brake. You just say go out there, and the whole crowd. But you got to remember, this is a part of the attraction. So there's music playing, people are going crazy.
Cheering them on,
There's lasers. Like the fan is just fist pumping, getting it going.
I love it.
Everyone would love it.
All right. I don't like hockey. I'd go just for that.
I'm with it.
Fan Zamboni drivers. Okay. Okay, here's one. This applies to any sport. No uniforms, disguises encouraged. That could be kind of fun. Okay.
Wait. Please flesh that out. So when you say no uniforms, you're not talking about nude. You're talking about they have to wear something else.
They have to wear something else, and they're allowed to wear disguises if they want to.
Then can they tell who's on their team?
Well, they know the
that's
faces of their teammates.
Not if you have a disguise. Not if I'm wearing like a James Harden mask and there's 2 of us out there.
So you're saying wear a disguise like you're on the other team. So there's 2 James Hardens running around.
You can be dressed as a coach and just pop into the game and fire up a jump shot. Disguises encouraged. Let it be part of the strategy.
All right.
Okay. Okay, this is easy. A 1-club golf tournament. It's a professional golf tournament. Everyone gets 1 club. Choose wisely.
Wait, so if those big fat wood ones that go off the tee really far,
a driver,
I then have to go closer with that, and I have to putt with that.
Yes,
one club for the whole 18 holes.
Whole 18. Okay, here's one. A billiards tournament on a boat in heavy seas. So it's all rocking around out there.
That's no good. It all slides to one side.
Imagine throwing darts.
Okay, how about this? You double the length of the bowling lane. That'd be really hard, man. That's a really long way to bowl it with gutters. Let's see one of these pros do it now.
No bumpers.
Bumpers.
Yeah.
It changes the game entirely. Okay. This is what I call the true Olympics, okay? Because look, everyone's excited for Olympics to come back, I guess. Does anyone care? I don't know. Maybe this was it.
Good.
Maybe we're all like, you know what?
Are they going to do it?
I don't know.
I heard they were on the fence.
Let's get it. I'm with it.
Here's my thing. Maybe everyone went through last summer and be like, hey, there's no Olympics. I didn't really miss it. It was kind of fine. Like, I'm kind of fine.
But anyway, man, summer is really rough for sports. When it's on, I'm in. It's like March Madness. I don't normally watch college basketball, but I'm in for now. That's how I am with the Olympics.
I'm just saying we need to bring people back. This is called the true Olympics, okay? And we don't tell the athletes when they arrive at this either. When they arrive, they've been training for years, right? Their whole life, okay? They find out that this year at the Olympics, it's actually to see what country has the best overall athletes. That means when they arrive, they are randomly assigned a new sport. Okay, so you could have the shot putter, the big shot putter high diving. Okay, you could have someone who's never done that skiing shooting gun thing, all of a sudden out there with 2 skis on and a rifle on their back.
You know who's going to crush that Olympics? Those decathletes where they have to do like 10 events and they are well-rounded, versatile athletes. They'll crush it.
But just imagine someone from the Olympic, the dream team, having to go out there and do a gymnastics routine. It's about best overall athleticism. It's the true Olympics for true athletes. We're talking about miracles. We're going to be seeing them every night if we implement some of these changes.
So basically what you want to do to professional sports is what MTV did to professional sports in the 1990s with their Rock and Jock tournament.
Awesome. People still talk about it.
And the 4-point shots. And they had like celebrities in the outfield.
Rock and Jock was lit. It was lit. Rock and Jock was lit.
Super lit.
Why did they stop it? They started doing that Road Rules Challenge nonstop. Why don't they bring back Rock and Jock?
They should bring that back. We should start a petition.
Seriously. Back Rock and Jock. I know.
Why wouldn't they bring back Rock and Jock?
Yeah.
Have you seen what MTV plays now? I know we're aging ourselves.
I have not. I have not watched MTV in years.
This is the literal truth. Like, pull up a guide of a typical week of every time slot of MTV, and it is literally 98% ridiculousness. Nonstop. And then like a couple of nights at 8:00, they'll have one other show, but it's ridiculousness nonstop. How is that popular?
Ridiculousness is a pretty good show, though.
I was going to say, I
enjoy it.
It's not an entire network's only programming good. Anyway.
But the funny thing about ridiculousness, which, by the way, for people, that is the name of a show. Cameron's not just saying, MTV's got ridiculousness on all day. Who is this Beavis person? Yeah. But no, but the thing about ridiculousness, the irony is they're just conceding YouTube is better than us. Like, MTV is basically like, look, everyone that used to watch our channel now just watches YouTube.
Yeah, you're
right.
On
our channel.
So let's just make a TV show that's just YouTube videos.
So true.
Remember when Kel Mitchell was on our show a couple months ago? It was because he was on that new MTV show, which was just ridiculousness, but about food. It was like food mishaps. Remember that? And he was one of the guys who like said the pithy comments. Yeah. But I think MTV needs to just bring back Rock and Jock and do the VMAs and we're good. Just play music videos.
Just like 5 VMAs a year. That's fine.
5 Rock and Jocks.
Yeah.
You have the winter Rock and Jock and the summer Rock and Jock. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No one's complaining. Everyone's loving it.
I love it. All right. Well, that'll do it for
What's Jesse thinking? Oh?
The Expect a Miracle edition. Y'all, go watch basketball tomorrow night, Saturday night. ORU.
I'm ORU. I'm going for ORU.
Soak it in. One last time.
Who they playing?
They're playing Arkansas.
If I was a coach, the first thing I would say is, you remember Florida? You remember Ohio? Do you want to be another head on the mantle of this team, or do you want to go ahead and knock them out? Like that's, you gotta lay in.
Look, hey, I'll get off the sports thing after this, but I'm very excited. Listen, there's no more dangerous person than the one playing with house money, because they have nothing to lose. They can play on their toes.
That's why you bet a Final Four bet on ORU. It was house money. You didn't care.
Exactly.
And you may get thousands of dollars.
But look, one team is incentivized to play on their heels, to be on defense. That's Arkansas, right? The other
Arkansas is we can't lose.
Yeah.
And ORU is like, expect a miracle, baby.
And they have nothing to lose. Like, we can go out and just fire up shots, and if we get hot, we're going to win.
We got a banner either way on campus. This year is the Sweet 16 team, and that's,
we love it.
Proud of it forever and ever. You know what I mean? So
that's dope.
You're right. They're
Cameron,
playing house
you're right,
money.
but I bet a lot of money on the Final Four. So let's make it happen, ORU.
Can you cash out early?
If they win the next game, I could take a lower buyout and cash out. I could take
that would be your $50 fine scholarship. That would be enough to get it started. You could invest that money into some real estate deals and make it larger, and that could be your endowment. I learned from the LDS.
It's a good business model.
The Jesse Carey Degenerates Fund. It'd be right there. Very proud. Very proud.
Yeah, but degenerates on a Christian campus is just kind of like the kid who, like, it's Christian rebelling. It's not like real degenerate.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
It's the Christian college equivalent of having like a Mike's Hard Lemonade snuck under the bed. You know, like it's not that. You know, who cares? It'll be fine.
Well, before we say goodbye, I want to remind you to go check out the new issue of Relevant. It's out now. The March-April issue 105, features our favorites, Johnny Swim on the cover. We also have great features with comedian Nate Bargatze, whose new Netflix special is out now, and you should absolutely watch it. It's hilarious. Hillsong United's Taya, Lakeith Stanfield, who's been nominated for an Oscar. We have think pieces on climate change, gender equality in the church, conversation with Rachel Denhollander about sexual abuse in the church. There's a lot of hard-hitting issues, entertaining issues, great conversations. And the brand new issue of Relevant, it's out now. And guess what? It's free. It's presented not only free, but ad-free, because it's been sponsored by our friends at UHSM. So go check it out. It's available right now. RelevantMagazine.com. Click on the magazine tab right there, March-April issue of Relevant. Also, while you're there, check out our new Friday feature, Relevant Recommends. It's this week's selections and a lot more. And then also sign up for the brand new Deeper Walk daily devotional newsletter. It's also a daily podcast that you can get wherever you get your podcasts. Deeper Walk, it's right there in the God section or the faith section. And also on the main page, you can sign up, just keep in the know, sign up for the Relevant Today newsletter. It's our top 5 trending articles in your inbox every morning. Relevant Today. Man, a lot going on, and I can't wait to tell you what's coming around the corner. We got a lot in motion at Relevant. Okay, well, on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Kristen Howerton.
We will see you next Friday. Have a great week, everyone. Go ORU.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
What is it going to be? The Degenerate Alumni Fund?
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.